Okay, this question one from the formula method, and I told you already that formula method is the simplest and easiest way to give an accurate answer to every quadratic equation. Okay, so in the question here, it's a y question. We said 3y raised to power 2 minus 13y minus 10 is equivalent to 0. So ask to find the value of y. 3y raised to power 2 minus 13y minus 10 is equivalent to 0. So for y. Okay, I told you something. 3y raised by 2 minus 13y minus 10 is equal to 0. I told you something when I was defining quadratic equation. That quadratic equation is an expression in the form of ax raised by 2 plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So this is the nature of that definition. Okay, this seems to be in the same form. Okay, so every quadratic equation, even though it's not directly expressed in this form, you have to arrange it to have this pattern form if you want to use this formula method. Okay, so now bring down that our expression ax raised to the power 2 minus bx minus c is equal to 0. That means literally a is what? 3. If I'm comparing this together, a is 3, b is what? B is minus 13, C is what? Minus 10. See that? Remember, I told you that A, B, and C in the definition, A, B, and C are numbers. So these are the numbers from the original question. So what are we going to do? And I'm having here A is equal to what? 3. A is equal to 3. B is equal to what? Minus 13. And C is equal to what? Minus 10. Okay, so the quadratic formula which I derived for you this, we have x is to be equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared, so that minus 4ac over 2a. That's a quadratic formula, right? So we already have our a as 3, b as minus 13, and c as minus 10. That means, I'm seeing a, I'm putting the value which I have already. I'm seeing I'm putting 3. If I see I'm putting minus 13, if I see I'm putting 1 minus 10. Just fix it into this formula is going to give you answer. Don't just panic. This is already the derived formula. So if you fix it in here, it's going to give you accurate answer. I'm having your now x equal to this minus, write it down. So b, instead of putting b, I'm putting what? Minus 13 now. So that I'm having here minus 13. So plus or minus, see that the square root of b is what? Minus 13. So instead of replacing b, I'm having what? Minus 13. Minus 13 b squared. So don't forget to put the square. Minus 4 times a is what? A is 3. And times c is what? Minus 10. Okay. So what next I'm going to do here? All the value over 2 times a is what? 3. You see that? So what next? I'm having x now to be equal to minus times minus, and expanding this minus open bracket minus 13. But time I know is what? Plus already, so I'm having here plus 13. Equivalent to 13 plus or minus the square root of minus 13 squared means what? Minus 13 times minus 13. Okay, that means minus 13 squared. So minus times minus, having minus times minus 13 times 13. Minus and minus is what? Plus. 13 times 13 is what? 169. So this is equivalent to what? 169. So that. So minus 13 square is what? 169. Don't put minus 169. It's going to be wrong. Okay. So I'm having here 169. So now, before you know the next sign you put, work on the other side first. So I'm having here, this current is what? Minus 4. So minus 4 times 3 is what? Minus 12. Minus 4 times 3 is minus 12. Now, minus 12 times minus 10 is what? Plus. Minus, you cancel that minus, change to plus, right? So I'm having what? Plus 120. So I'm having here plus 120. All this value over 2 times 3 is what? 6. You see that? So what I'm going to do here now, in the sense, in continuation of that, I'm going to have here x to be equivalent to 13 plus or minus the square root of 169 plus 120. I'm having what? 289. So that 0 plus 9 is 9, 2 plus 6 is 8, 1 plus 1 is 2. All this value over 6. Okay, so what next now? I'm going to have x to be equal to 13 plus or minus What is the square root of 289? The answer there is what? So 289 should be 17. That's 17 times 17 is 289. Square root of 289 is what? 17 over what? 6. Remember, this quadratic. That means the values of s will be what? 2. Which have two values of s. Okay? So I'm going to have in on x to be equal to 13 plus 17 over 6, or x to be equal to 13 minus 17 over 6. See that? X to be equal to 13 plus 17. This is plus or minus. So pick the first plus 17 over 6, or 13 minus 17 over 6. See that? That's where the plus or minus reflects itself. So what next? I'm going to have what? X minus x equal to 13 plus 17. 3 plus 7 is what? 10, 0 carry 1. This and this is 2 plus 1 is what? 3 divided by 6, or 13 minus 17. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 have here 4 over 6. But having a minus sign instead of square, right? So what next? I'm having x now to be equal to 30 divided by 6 is what? 5. Or what can I divide here and here? 2 here is what? 2 times 2 here is what? 3. Minus 2 over 3 is the answer to that. That two value of x. So that very, very easy to understandable to work on. If you can apply the formula, remember your formula, you can easily apply what you have in there to give every answer have. So have in the back of your mind as usual that quadratic equations have two answers, and every quadratic equation you're solving after is quadratic, you're going to have two answers of the unknown without any value there. Okay? Okay, but s, or that means our y is equal to what? 5, or y is equal to minus 2 over 3. You're solving for y, sorry, not s. Okay, I mean this value formula is supposed to be y throughout. Okay, so let's take the next question very fast. Can go trade. Once you can go trade. Next question. Okay, now look at this question. It's also y question. So it says you solve for x if x squared is equal to minus open bracket 2x minus 35. I told you already that you have to, every quadratic equation already look at the unknown x and x. At the highest power of x is what? 2. Here the power of x is 1. The highest is what? 2. So you have to know that that's quadratic already, and then do the rearrangement to be a let me say take it back to a quadratic expression. Okay, so I'm going to have solution to this. So solution, I'm going to have what? X raised to power 2 is equal to, expand this. Remember, this is 1. Okay, so minus times 2s is what? Minus 2s. Okay, minus times minus is what? Plus. Minus, and then you put your word 35. Okay, so what next now? I said arrange it to be what? Algebraic expression. So this will now give you what? X raised to power 2. When this one cross over, become what? Plus 2x. This one cross over, become what? Minus 35 is equal to 0. This is an algebraic. This is now for quadratic, sorry. So the coefficient of x squared is what? 1. On to this formula method, we have not started factorization method, so let's do everything using the formula method for today. Maybe our next class we take factorization or complete square method, work based on the complete square method. Okay? So everything solved here today will be from what? The formula method. So now go back to quadratic expression, which is what? AS raised to power 2 plus BS plus C is equal to 0. That's quadratic expression. So what in the sound? Remember the quadratic formula. So now, tell me now, A is equal to what? Okay, that's correct. B is equal to what? Very correct. And C is equal to what? Okay, don't forget the signs. Minus 35. Don't say 35 again. And don't repeat that again. So what are we going to do here now? Having A is equal to 1, B is equal to what? 2, and C is equal to what? Minus 35. Okay, so what next now? I'm going to remember that x equal to minus b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a, which are quadratic formula, the almighty formula. So what next now? I'm having what? X is equal to b is what? 2. No, I'm seeing b, I'm putting what? 2. Put this minus, b is 2. So that plus or minus the square root of b is what? 2 squared. So that b is 2, then put the square minus 4 times a is what? A is 1 times c is what? Minus 35. Okay, all this over 2 times a is 1. So x now will be equal to what? Minus 2 plus minus the square root of 4. 2 squared is what? 2 times 2, which is what? 4. Minus, remember, see, before you know the next sign you take, multiply first. Minus 4 times 1 is what? Minus 4. So now minus 4 times 35. I'm having what? Minus time minus already is what? Plus. My sign is going to plus. Minus 4 times 1 is what? Minus 4. So now minus 4 times minus 35. I'm having what? Minus is plus. 4 times 5 is what? 20. 0 carry 2. 4 times 3 is what? 12. 12 plus 2 is what? 14. I'm having here 140. Okay? Over 2 times 1 is what? 2. Exactly. So what next? I'm having what? X to be equivalent to minus 2 plus or minus the square root of 4 plus 140 is what? 144 over 2 times over 2. Right? So x now is equal to minus 2 plus or minus square root of 144 is what? 12 over 2. So now you have removed everything. That's why now go to your two answer of x. So x is either equal to minus 2 plus 12 over 2, or x equal to minus, or x equal to, okay, or minus 2 minus 12 over 2. Okay, so x now is giving what? Minus 2 plus 12 is what? 10 over 2. Or minus 2 minus 12 is what? Minus 14 over 2. So x will give you what? 10 divided by 2 is what? 5. Or minus 14 divided by 2 is what? Minus 7. And that's two values of x. Wow. Okay, let's take a third question. Then I believe very that if you add, let me see, you apply the ideas you gather here in using the formula method in every quadratic equation, you always have the correct answers. You always have the correct answers. Okay.